So somebody other than Ashrar and Srihari, can somebody tell what is issued share capital? Anyone, guys? Other than Ashrar
That's
and Srihari?
the initial amount of capital raised by the initial partners of the company, right?
Not really. You can say that, but yeah, can you be more specific, Vivek?
So of the 1,000 crores, if I need only 2 crores to, I mean, it's essentially the amount of demand that exists in the market who are ready to invest into the company.
No,
And
demand is separate. Demand will come later. So no, it is not got to do with demand.
I can go, Nishant, or anyone
Yeah.
who wants to go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Nobody went ahead, right? So
Okay. So issued share capital means that, so basically the authorized one is the total amount of capital that would be required in the company's lifetime, which is 1,000 crore in this scenario. But to start up with the company, we don't want 1,000 crores to be raised at a single go. So let's say that to start up a company, I just want to have a 10 crores capital to be raised initially. So once that 10 crore capital is raised, that is being called as the issued share capital, and that can continue to
no,
grow.
again, Nimit, how much is raised is separate, right? So it will come later. So issued. So right now, company wants to raise so much. So amount issued by the company.
Mhm.
Amount of shares issued by the company. So the company wants to raise so
so
much.
of the 1,000 crore shares, how many shares have been issued? That's it, right?
1,000 crore is the value.
100 crore.
So
100
yeah,
crores, sorry. Out of the
yeah.
100
So
crore shares,
this
how
is
many
the
shares have been issued? Yeah.
value and this is the number. Exactly. Correct. So we will explain this. And Nimit, you mentioned one thing. 1,000 crores is not. You mentioned one word I wanted to correct there. 1,000 crores is hypothetical number. Okay, it is the maximum that a company may need throughout its lifetime. Ideally,
Yeah.
for most companies, the actual will be probably in the range of 500 crores or something. You just keep it at a high number so that you don't have to change it frequently, because it's a
Yeah,
painful process.
yeah, that's correct. That's correct. I mean, I meant to say that as well. I mean, when I say 1,000 crores, I just took this example wherein the authorized capital was mentioned as 1,000 crores.
Correct. Yeah. What I meant is that authorized capital should ideally be way higher than your requirement, at least for the next 30, 40 years when you are setting up a company. Because you don't want to change it frequently because it needs majority approval and all that. So it's a messy process. So amount of shares issued by the company. So say hypothetically in this case, let's take a very low number. Say how much Nimit said, 20 crores or something, right? So 20 crore. And here I am talking about two things. Okay, I will not talk about face value going forward because it will always be constant. One is the number of shares and one is the value. Okay, so usually both are important. Most of the places you will see value quoted, but yeah, you can derive, one is based on the other. Okay, and here I am assuming okay, so we will come to the concept of premium and all also. Okay, so 2 crore share is the amount issued. So so this is where you will see words like, did we discuss this at par, at premium, at discount?
Yeah, you briefly mentioned it. Yeah, there are three ways that shares can be issued, you said.
Okay, briefly, not in detail, right? So we will go at that.
No,
Okay, so
I
but
think
let's,
we discussed in detail last time,
Oh,
but
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. We did it in. You showed examples also. You're right.
yeah, so
My
this
bad.
one is 2 crore shares issued at par. For the simplicity of the example, I will keep it at par, this one. Okay, but okay, so if we discussed in detail, then if anyone has questions, so I will use this word at par. So this is clear to everyone, right? So when I say 2 crore shares issued at par, which means issued at 10 rupees basically. Okay, if I say issued at discount, which means less than 10. Issued at premium, which means more than 10. Okay. it will be issued at a discount if there is less demand for the company. If it is issued at a premium, which means there is high demand for the company shares. Okay, so this is what I issued. And what is the next one? So this is how much the company is saying that I want. Say the company name is X. Company says that for now, for the next 2 years or 3 years, a prudent company would raise money at least for 2 to 3 years. This much money is enough to run the company. So they decide to issue this much. So this is issued. What is next one?
Paid up share.
Actually, one second. I'll just want to check here. You mentioned there are three things. One is at par, at discount, and at premium, right?
Yes.
So at par, in the sense, it's like directly issued at face value, and at discount is it's lower than face value, and at premium is higher than face value.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
Let me write this. Okay, and this time I'm saving it, so I will share it. Any questions?
No, go ahead, please.
Okay, so now here, out of 100 crore shares, I issued only 2 crore. So the remaining 98 crore is known as unissued. Okay, or the 980 crores is the unissued share capital. Okay, so basically 1000 minus 20 gives you the unissued. I will write the formula. Questions?
No, please. Go ahead, please.
Okay, now Ashrar, Nimit, Vivek and Srihari don't talk. Anyone else? What is the next one? So we did authorized and issued. What is the next one? Guys, come on. None of you went through the video or other videos I shared. Who else is there? Vaibhav, Som, Kunal, Ankit. Ishwar, he is not able to talk. He's on somewhere, so that's okay. No, fine. So over to open for anyone, whoever wants to go. What is the next one?
Here, subscribe the shares are there.
Correct. So subscribe share capital. Anyone other than Srihari wants to explain what it means? Guys, please go through it. Okay, I have shared YouTube videos also, reading material. So if you want to read. If you want to watch a video, watch. You can watch the previous session also. I know I lost that material, but at least you can watch it on the video. So yeah, anyone other than Srihari, please explain what is subscribed share capital mean? Anyone, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, when the company it issues the share capital and the amount of shares that are subscribed, so that is the subscribed capital, and the amount that is not subscribed, it remains. So there's always like a certain amount, the amount of capital that is subscribed at that point of time is the subscribed capital.
Correct. So can you explain in this example? So 2 crores were issued. 2 crore shares were issued at par. So what could be the subscribed share capital?
So assuming that 1 crore shares are subscribed.
Okay, so say 1 crore shares. Correct? Is this correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So which means that the company is not very famous, right? Because it couldn't sell all the shares. And this is all happening in a private market, because right now it is a private limited company. It's not listed. So this 10 crore becomes my subscribed share capital. What happens to the one that did not get subscribed?
It remains with the company?
Unsubscribes. Yes.
Yeah, correct. So it is known as unsubscribed So maybe people will get confused. So I will make it 1.5, okay? Because if the numbers are same, people may get confused.
So it's 1.5 crore shares were in demand, okay?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
I just
Not,
changed it because
so even on the
otherwise
top,
people, yeah, no, because it was 2 crore, right? 1 people may say how it is. So 1.5 crore shares got subscribed and 0.5 crore didn't get subscribed. So total unsubscribed will come to 5 crore as the amount. Okay. So you have authorized, issued, issued, unissued, subscribed, unsubscribed. Now, out of this 15 crores, right, the company again need the whole 15 crore at one go. So what is the concept for that? What do we call it? This one I forgot last time, so I don't know if you guys have read the video, then only you will be able to tell. So what is the fourth one?
paid up share capital?
No, before that. So this one I forgot, so that's why. So you have authorized, issued, subscribed. Then what it is? So then there is something called up share capital. So none of you watch the YouTube videos. Did anyone watch the YouTube videos?
No.
You could post them on Skype, I can watch them, but there are too many messages to comb through for the WhatsApp group actually.
Okay, so then I will reduce the messages. I thought people need some material to read.
No, in Skype, if you just put the things which we should go through, I will definitely go through it. But
okay, I will try to do that. Earlier I used to do, but nobody used to read on Skype. So okay, I will do that.
I mean, the WhatsApp is nice for discussion and for news and information, which is amazing. But
we need to actually do that Slack. Vivek, we should think about it, maybe Slack or something. We need that channels methodology. We need to think of some other tool where we have channels for each. So we will then just create channels. So like we could have created one channels for types of capital and all. That makes it much more streamlined. We'll think about it. But for now, yeah, I will post in Skype. So called up share capital is now say the company was able to sell 15 crore worth of shares or 1.5 crore shares at 10 rupees each. But the company doesn't need 15 crore right now. So it probably needs only 2 crores right now and then maybe or maybe 3 crores right now and another 3 crores in 3 months time and then so on and so forth. Is this clear to everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. What the company does in scenario like this is it calls for the money in installments. Okay, so it's like buying a house from a builder. So once they complete, say it's a 10-floor house, once they complete the first floor, they ask you for 20% of the payment. Second floor is completed, another 20%, something like that, right? They give you a schedule, and it's like a every 6 months or every 3 months. So it's like a cash flow thing for you and for the builder also. Similarly, for you company and for the people who are giving money to the company. So for the investors or for the equity shareholders, it's a cash flow thing that it makes it easier for them. So what the company says is, don't pay me everything right now. Right now, I only need 20% of the amount. So say in this example, this whole transaction started on 1st of January 2010. So this is how they say every 3 months you keep paying. So first installment, and then may give you 15 days from that day to pay it. Okay, I'm just using some hypothetical dates. Do I need to type the rest?
no, it's fine.
It is self-explanatory, right?
So every 3
So
months.
how much, yeah, so how much ever the company has called for is known as called up share capital. So say we are right now on this date for our example. So which means 20% of the subscribed. So which means 3 crores or 30 lakh shares. No, all the shares, but instead of 10 rupees, 2 rupees each. So 1.5 into 2, 3 crores is what the company has requested for. Okay. Clear doubt?
So this usually called up share capital is almost a kind of an shares which are from the issued capital, issued share capital, right?
Yeah, all of them are from the issued share capital. So now now I issued 2 crore shares and demand was for 1.5 crore, right? So now it is part of the subscribed, actually not issued, it is part of the subscribed one. So 1.5 crore got subscribed. Now ideally each one should pay 10 rupees per share and 15 crore, and 15 crore will come to my company's account. But the company is saying that right now I don't need the full 15 crore, so why should I collect everything from you? Because you guys are owners of the company, right? You are investors, owners, shareholders, whatever you call them. So I don't want you guys to pay the full 10 rupees each. You pay me 2 rupees each, and the rest we will collect after 3 months, and so on in installments.
Okay.
So 2 times 1.5 crore. Yeah, crore shares, no? Then.
Exactly, yeah. So this is 1.5 crore shares. Okay, I think people.
But then it's 3
Which
crore.
is the
Yeah, sorry.
total. Okay. So now here you need to understand that we use multiple terminologies. So we said the shares were issued at par, right? So the par value is 10 and the issue price is also 10. Okay. So now there are multiple terminologies. Par value, which you guys have understood what it is, right? In this example, the shares were issued at par. So my issue price also became par value. And CMP is what? Current market price. That will keep fluctuating. Okay, for a listed company every minute, but even for a private limited company over a month or so. So after a month, if company does well, it can be at 10.2 or 9.8. It is not published anywhere on a stock exchange, but in a private market, we can discuss about it. And there are ways to value it.
Can you please repeat that? So CMP is current market price. I understand that. The par value will always be same at any point of time.
The par value will never change. No, it can
true.
change if you do a stock split, like Apple is doing a 1:5 stock split. So now the par value will change. So we can discuss.
What is stock split?
We will discuss that. Okay, so that is on the agenda. But we can actually take Apple's example and discuss it. So we can do that next week maybe, if we reach there, because we have to first finish primary and secondary market. So yeah, here, sorry, I missed your question.
No, actually, what I was asking is we have CMP, the current market price.
Yes.
You were telling the current market price, so it will always be fluctuating in the market.
Yes. So first.
So that is in the secondary market, you mean?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So in the primary market, only the par value or this discounted value or this premium is interest, and in the secondary market, always the current market price is the interest for the owner of the company.
Owner of the shareholder, owner of the shares, yes.
Yeah.
So yes, but don't make it so complicated. So understand it this way. First, understand what is the concept of par value. You understood the concept of par value, right?
Par value is more like it's the face value which we have set for the company at the opening of the company.
Yeah.
Correct. But did you understand why it is important? What it is you understood, but why? If you understand the why, there is a video by Simon Sinek. I will share that also. If you understand the why, right, the rest becomes easy. So did you understand why a par value is needed in the first place? All of you. The question is for all of you.
It's like a baseline, I guess, no? Then. It starts the expectation baseline.
Correct.
Financial.
Yeah, right. So, for example, if the company were to issue, I'm going to the authorized share capital. All of you can see my screen, right? So, if the
Yeah.
company were to issue 100 crore shares, right, it has to issue them at some price, right?
Yeah, that's what I want to understand. How this value will be decided?
This value means the par value, face
Par
value.
value. How the par value or the face value will be decided?
It's a standard rule of thumb, right, which I told. So most companies either give it 10, 5, 1. So I gave the example, right? Where did I write somewhere? So usually companies assign either 1, 2, 5, 10 or 100. So along with the times it has changed. Initially it was always 100. Then somebody decided 100 is too high. Let's make it 10. Then people said 5, 2, 1. So as Ashrar perfectly mentioned, it is kind of a baseline. The company needs to issue at some price. So these are the default values used. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any of these 5 are used. Mostly 10 or 1.
Yeah, and you were stressing
Yeah.
some significance over here. You were telling why a par value is important or something. Can you please elaborate over that?
Correct. Your question was, Srihari, why, how it is determined, right? So it is a random number, any of these 5. Okay. So the most recent IPO we had, Rosari Biotech, right? One of you just go back and pull it up. I think its par value was 1 or 2. And it was issued at 735. So I will explain with that example. Why it is important? Yeah, I want you guys to answer it. Ashar already did to some extent. So all of you put in your thoughts. Except Ishwar, everyone else can speak. So let's get some thoughts. Why is it important to have a par value? Come on, guys, talk. No worries. No right or wrong answers here.
It's like I want to have like a picture at the start of my company that I'm going to be with this much capital down the line when my when I have established my business.
Yes, okay, can be. Okay.
It's also like a benchmark, no? Like, for example, you cannot have premium par discount values without having a par value. I mean, if the company does good, the prices will change, but the constant is the par value, and that's how it's judged to or compared to.
That is very valid, but there is another more fundamental question than that, right? See, I want to issue 100 crore shares. Can I issue at 0?
No.
So if I had 0,
That's
I
to
will.
limit the amount of participation in the share, right? So, for example, I might need 1,000 crore capital, but I want to limit the number of people who get involved into it. So I increase my par value so that the entry threshold becomes more limited.
That can be a way to control the number of shareholders, fine. But why the need for par value at all? So you are answering the question, Vivek, why I would like to keep a higher par value. So if I want to keep a par value as 5,000, why would I do that? Because I want it to be out of reach for many people.
Yeah.
But my question is, why par value at all? So the hypothetical question I asked is, can I issue at 0? No, right? Because 100 crore into 0 will be 0.
You
Because
won't get anything back.
Exactly. So anything at 0 will be 0. So as a company, I need to raise some money, right? So I need to assign some value to the share. That this is what I'm expecting as a company. Now, obviously, based on the market demand, it can either be at a premium or at par or at discount. All the 3 options are possible based on what is the reputation of my company. Obviously, the example that we are doing is like a very new company. So usually it will always be at a par because it neither has a good reputation nor a bad reputation. I will mostly raise money. The person who's setting it up will himself only contribute most of the time. And maybe he will contribute either mostly in the name of his family member, or they will also participate willingly or unwillingly, whatever. So at a very fundamental level, a par value is important because you cannot issue shares at 0. So that is why you say, okay, I will issue it at 1. So if I need 100 crores, So obviously the calculation is always reverse. So I, as a founder of the company, think that, okay, I am not very ambitious. I will want to run this company for 50 years. After that, I don't care. So for a 50-year perspective, 500 crores in capital is enough. And I have kept the par value as 1. So 500 crore divided by 1 is equal to 500 crore shares. So I will set my authorized share capital at 500, par value at 1. So automatically number of shares that I can issue is 500 crores. Obviously that is over a 50-year lifetime. I may need only 10 crores now to start the business. So that is how practically it happens. But at a very fundamental level, a par value is needed because you cannot issue shares at 0. You have to issue it at some value. So which is 1, 2, 5, 10 or 100. Now, how these numbers came? They came basically through trial and error or whatever. Initially, everything was 100. People thought 100 is a round number, so 100 के हिसाब से कर दो. And also, like many of you might be knowing earlier in India, or even now we have this, right? Like people try to donate either 11 rupees or 21 or 51 or 101 or 1001 or 1100. Different people have different concepts, but at least these are the numbers I have heard are auspicious, 5001 or 5100. So in whenever I also donate, I try to donate in those multiples. So similar to this, somebody came up with 100, then people thought 100 is too much. To have more participation, they made it 10, then 5, then 2, then 1. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we move on? Any questions? So we have called
actually, why I was asking. So you mentioned the par value and all these are in the primary market, and the CMP is in the secondary market, right? I mean, maybe you said you will add it later. As of now, this is my understanding.
Correct. CMP is always in the secondary market. So we will talk about that. We will talk about all of that when we are going for IPOs and all.
Okay.
Okay. So this is called up. Okay. So whatever is not called is known as uncalled share capital. So if I am calculating, say on 10th of April, the 80% will be uncalled, which means company has not even asked people to pay for it. It's quite tiring, but typing so much. So we said only 2 rupees, right? So the rest is uncalled. So which means there are many ways to do it. 1.5 into 8 will also give you 12 crores, or we will do it 15 minus 3 is equal to 12 crores. How I got 15 minus 3 is 1.5 into 2 is 3 crores and 1.5 into 10 is 15 crores. So total subscribed was 15. So what I have done is subscribed minus called up is equal to uncalled. Okay. Uncalled means company has not even requested you to pay it. But there are people who pay in advance also.
You mean instead of they paying it in installments, they will pay it at the first instance, huh?
Yeah, people do that sometimes. People who don't want to wait for all the installments and all. They may not pay the whole 10, they may pay half, whatever. But
So
yeah,
that will be in called up share then.
Yes. No, that will not be called up. That will be showing as paid in advance something. So I'm not getting into the accounting treatment because it will mess things up. Okay, so I was trying to make a schedule here. So 1st April is the first installment, 1st July 2nd, 1st October 3rd. So like that every 3 months. Okay, so in 5 installments you will clear it off. Okay, now I will kind of rush through it because it is little boring. Then out of called up, so the company asked people to pay up to 1.5 crore into 3 crore. Now say you bought 10 lakh shares, so you were supposed to pay 20, but out of 20 you paid only 18, so that becomes your paid up share capital. Clear, not clear?
Yeah.
Now here it may not always be per share, right? So for example, the company asked 1.5 crore total shares were sold and the amount was 2 rupees. So total 3 crore was called up. Now it may be happen that the company collected 4 crores. But like I explained, some people instead of paying 2 have already paid 6 per share because they wanted to pay in advance. But some people instead of paying 2 only paid 1 per share. And that 1.5 crore shares was bought by maybe 20 people. So assuming this is a private limited company and limit is 50 shareholders, out of that 1.5 crore shares, maybe 20 people bought. But need not be that everyone bought 7 lakh shares each. Somebody bought 40 lakh shares and somebody bought only 1 lakh shares. And somebody bought only 30,000 shares. Okay, so the guy who bought 40 lakh shares paid for all the 40 lakh shares. But the guy who bought 30,000 shares, instead of paying 2 per share, he only ended up paying 1.5. So instead of his contribution of 60,000, he has only paid 45,000. All that permutation combination is possible. Clear?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so say in this case, I'm just making it hypothetically very simple. So out of 3 crores, we collected, say 2.5 crores. So ideally, what a smart company will do is, if they need, in this example itself, 1.5 crores in the next 3 months, they will call for 3 crores because they know that some people may not pay up on time. So to be safe, they will always call for more money than needed. Got it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we are done with authorized, issued, subscribed, called up. Okay, paid up. What else is there? Yeah, that's it. And that is why we call partially paid shares. So the Reliance shares that are trading today, the rights issue is all partially paid up. Why? Because they did not ask for the full money. They have to pay in 3 or 4 installments. Anybody who has subscribed to Reliance rights issue can talk more. That is all I wanted to cover today. I can take any questions now.
So even if you pay for the shares partially, are you allowed to trade or do business with them, with the Reliance share? I'm saying, I'm asking for.
No. So the Reliance one has been issued separately. So the rights issue, they have listed it separately as a partially paid share. So
Okay.
for that, you will only get it when you pay the full amount, whatever is the due amount, not the full amount, the due amount. So I
Yeah.
think those were issued at who somebody subscribed. I don't know the exact numbers, so I will give hypothetical numbers. So those were issued, say, at 1,500 each. So as of today, Reliance has asked you to pay 300. So 1,500 is your issue price, and your called up was 300. So you have to pay the called up amount. Okay, so you have to pay the full 300. Once you pay that 300, you will have it in your account and you can trade on it. So that 300 is not staying constant because that is also trading in the market. So because it is trading in the market, every day it is either going to 305 or 289, whatever. So it is up actually.
Okay.
So I can show you it. Let's see, money control. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah.
You see here, Reliance Industry partly paid up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can go and research this more. So this is trading separately. So I think they have asked people to pay whatever 400 or 500 and now current price is this much. So the next installment will be due in like few months time and all. We can Google it for further read. Yeah, so it is 3 installments. Can you see the other screen? Can you see the other screen?
No, your screen got stuck at that Google search.
Now? Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, so this Reliance Industry partly paid shares. So here it says there are 3 installments. So May 2021, November 2021, and the initial one. Okay, so I'm just trying to see what price they were issued. But if you see, they were issued at very less price because after 10% upper circuit, they were at 812. And today, if you see, they are at 1100 something. So they have given very, very good returns. So I think people paid around 500 something, I would assume. If 3 equal installment means 500 each.
But here we are talking about the secondary market then.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes, of course, right? So that is where the fun happens, right? Because that is where you get the actual value of your investment. Okay, any other questions?
Usually this sessions are for 1 hour or 1.5 hour?
The sessions are for 1 hour.
Okay.
But yeah, many times when discussion is going on, it stretches because it gets very interesting and everybody has a point of view. But when it is just talking about one topic, it becomes really tiring for me.
Yeah. And then actually, I mean, whatever the topics which we are covering here, it's mostly related to CA activities, right?
CA means chartered accountant.
Yeah, chartered account.
Not really, right? So it is a combination of CA, MBA, CPA, CFA. A lot of topics are mixed up.
What is CPA?
It's the USCA, certified profession. Yeah, certified account, whatever. I don't remember the full form. But yeah, it's a mix of all of things, and yeah. So,
Okay, yeah.
any other questions?
Uh,
So tomorrow let's do that Infi HCL one. Does anyone have that chart handy? Can you download it and share it on Skype as well? Vaibhav? Vaibhav, Kunal, are you there?
Look in the WhatsApp group to find it. I don't have it.
Yeah, one of you, can you just download that on your WhatsApp desktop version and put it on Skype also?
Yeah.
Okay, that chart I have shared, right? I have shared it 2 or 3 times. Anything else? Any other topics that you guys went through and have questions? We have less people. I am okay to spend another 15-20 minutes
No,
to take
actually,
questions.
I'm not getting complete time to go through this because of my hectic work. But as and when I get time, I'm checking this. But just want to understand. So whatever the topics which we have covered, so we covered when we open a company, how the share capitals will be issued. But is it we also are covering the primary and secondary? So that will be taken later because you were telling that tomorrow you want to cover. The chart which the Infosys and HCL you were telling.
Correct, yes. So primary and secondary, let's do it next week, next Saturday. Okay, but yeah, probably I can talk at a high level today so that people understand. So now we understood how a company is structured, right? Now these structuring or issuing of new shares happen in the primary market. Okay, this is what we call a primary market deal. Now what happens is I have a private limited company with say 30 crore shares outstanding and each with a par value of 10 rupees. Okay, so total outstanding is 300 crores in capital. Okay, now this 30 crore shares were say bought by, as I said, in India only 50 people can be part of a private limited company. So say let's assume for the simplicity of the example, this 30 crore shares were bought by 10 people, 3 crore shares each. So all of these 10 people currently own 10% of the company, 3 crore shares each. And each of them invested 3 crore into 10, 30 crores. Say all the shares are issued at par. And this company has been running for 5 years. Clear, not clear?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Now this company can have 2 requirements, or company can have 1 requirement and people can have another requirement. Company can have a requirement that they need more than 300 crores. So the whole 300 crores they have utilized, and for expansion they need another 500 crores. Okay, that is scenario 1, for example. Now this additional 500.
Come again. What was the scenario 1? What was the question?
In scenario 1 is the company needs another 500 crores to run the business.
So additional to 300 crores which they already have.
Exactly. So now the company can issue another 50 crore shares at par at 10 rupees each and collect 500 crores from private investors.
Okay.
But then they already are at 10 investors they already have, and they can only have 40 more. So they will have to sell 50 crore shares to 40 people. Right?
Okay.
So
because in the private limited company, the maximum share is 50%.
Exactly, right? And when they go to these people, they ask them that, boss, are you willing to buy more shares? These people say, no, we don't want to buy any more shares. We are good with it. We bought as much as we wanted. Okay?
Okay.
So they need to find 40 more people who will be willing to buy a total of 50 crore shares, which is not a very easy task. Okay. Also, by being a private limited company, I get some benefits, like I don't have to publish much reports and all. I still have to publish some report, do some auditing, but not a lot. But still, there are many disadvantages. When I am a private limited company, not many people know about me. When I become a listed company, a lot of people know about me because number of shareholders is more. So say if I become a public limited company, we do some survey and we realize that, okay, we can expect 1 lakh shareholders. So which means 1 lakh people will buy our share. So they will know about us, they will talk about us, can also become our customers. Many of them might be customers and they want to buy the company share because they feel company is doing well. So there are many such advantages. Plus you have access to a very large number of investors. You have access to a very large amount of capital by becoming a listed company. Plus the current 10 people who bought 3 crore shares each, right? They will also have an option to then sell their shares and make some profit. Because today they can sell it, but they have a very limited number of people to whom they can sell. The market itself is very small. Whereas by going public, I create a much larger market for them.
Okay, I just want to understand here. So initially, when the company was the private company and the shareholders were only 10, who started it. So if they want to sell, they can only sell among themselves.
No, they can sell among themselves or to people, somebody else who knows about the company. But at any point, it cannot cross 50. So
Okay,
say
that's true.
1 to 10 is there, right? So say one wants to send to 11, he can sell to 11, or he can sell to 11, 12 and 13. But he cannot sell to 11, 12, 13,000, 2,000, right? He only has a limited number of people who will take the shares from his hand. So he has to find someone who is ready to buy, say, 1 crore shares. And he bought it at 10, right? So I don't want to sell at 10, right? I want to make some profit. So I will want to sell at 15. So I need to find someone who's willing to buy 1 crore shares at 15. So that one person will have to give me 15 crores. Or I'll have to find at least 3 people who can buy 5 crore each. Whatever.
Okay, so the advantage is we will have more investors. From the private company. Now we are moving this means we are moving our private company to a listed company.
Exactly.
Okay. The advantages is we will have a lot of shareholders, and the persons who who are current shareholders also can sell their shares to a bigger market to make profits.
Absolutely. And this is what most of the VC firms do. So like, for example, all the VC firms who have invested in a Swiggy or Ola or Uber or whatever. Uber though is already listed, but Flipkart and venture capital firm. Okay. So Ashar, you are on mute. I think you tried speaking something.
No, I said venture.
So we will do one session on VC firms also. So there's lots actually. So we'll do an early stage VC, we'll do angel investing, we'll do bootstrapping, all that. So we'll come to all that.
Okay, so when a company moves from a private limited company to a listed company, so yes, that is called the secondary market, you mean, or?
Correct. So after it is listed, so don't go there, right? So don't jump. So primary market is this. Now, when a company is moving from a private limited company to a public limited company via a process of listing on a stock exchange, right? There are 2 things they can do. They can either do a primary market transaction or a secondary market transaction. So in an IPO, there can be 2 things. This is what I wanted to bring out. So option 1 is the company itself can sell more shares. So in the example I mentioned, the company already issued 30 crore shares at 10 rupees each. So 300 crores they have as capital. They need 500 crore more. Okay. So in this case, like I had explained, These 30 crore shares were bought by 10 people each, 3 crore each. So each person gave 30 crores. So I gave 30 crores, Ashar gave 30 crores, Nimit gave 30 crores, you gave 30 crores. Like that, from 10 people, the company has collected 300 crores. And each person has bought 3 crore shares, which means all of us own 10% of the company. Okay.
Okay.
Now all of us said we don't want to put in even single rupee more. We are done. We don't have more money to invest in this company. We have money, but we will do something else. We will not invest in this company. But the company needs more money to expand.
Okay.
So we agree that we are okay to dilute our stake. So right now each person owns 10%, 30 crore. So let's assume the company needs only 300 crore more, not 500 crore. Okay. Or not, forget the number. No, the number is important. Yeah. So say the company needs 500 crores. Okay. But the company decides that they will issue 30 crore more shares. Okay. Because the company has become quite famous and they know that they will be able to issue at a premium, which means more than 10 rupees. Okay. They know that there will be demand. They have done that survey and all. So the company needs 500 crore more to run the business, but they have decided to issue only 30 crore more share. So initial number of shares is 30 crore, which means 3 crore to each of us. 30 crore more will get issued, which means total number of shares will change from 30 crore to 60 crore. And the share of all of us will come down from 10% to 5%. Because 3 crore divided by 30 crore was 10%, but 3 crore divided by 60 crore will be 5%. So earlier I was owning 10% of the company. Now I will own only 5% of the company.
Yes, that's true. So now the total number of shares is 600 crores, but the the value
Total
60,
number
sorry,
of
60 crores, and the value of the company is 800 crores because we are issuing at premium.
Correct. That is the market value. Don't go into market value. Okay. So basically the requirement is for 500 crore more. Okay.
Okay.
Now each of these 30 crore shares needs to be priced at more than 17 rupees. At 17, we will be able to collect 510 crores.
Yeah, whatever it is. Okay.
Yeah. So as per the company survey, they know that they can easily issue at 20 and more than 30 crore shares will get sold, which means the demand will be for more than 30 crore.
Okay.
So they come out with an issue of 30 crore shares at 20 rupees or 25 rupees, say 20 rupees. No, for easy example, let it be 25. So at 25 rupees, which means total amount of money that the company will get is 30 crore into 25, 750 crores. If all of the shares get subscribed, and this 25 means 10 rupees is the par value and 15 rupees is the premium. And the premium was decided based on the survey done by the company that there is a lot of demand for our shares. So instead of selling at 10, we are easily able to sell at 25.
Okay. Actually, here I have I understood this concept. So now, for example, at premium price, when I mean, initially you were telling it was 25 rupees. So they will make 750 crores here. Okay. By moving from a private, they will make additional 750 crores with the 300 capital, which they already have. And they are moving from private to listed company. So when, because they know that share price is increasing, so for example, if can there be a kind of a fluctuation that the price can be purchased from 25 rupees instead of 27 rupees also?
No, I did not get the question.
Okay, I mean, here we started. When the company got listed, we scheduled the price at 25 rupees.
No, wait. We have not yet listed, right? So this is pre-listing. Okay. So the private limited company, the private limited company wants to list. So before listing, they are offering this, right? So this is the process of IPO. So the company is creating 30 crore new shares and offering to sell it at 25 rupees each.
So you mean in pre-listing? Pre-listing is IPO.
Exactly. That IPO is nothing but an initial public offer. So I was a private limited company, right? So I'm selling shares to the public for the first time. So that is why it is known as initial public offer. Every subsequent time, it will be known as a FPO, follow-on public offer. So I can keep doing it every year if I want.
Yeah, I mean, actually, here I have a question. So so IPO and pre-listing are one and the same, and the price will be constant here. It will not vary. That's what you mean?
This process itself will take only 3 days. So
3
see,
days. Okay.
okay, understand this. Okay, so you are confused with the practicalities of it. So private limited company decided to convert to public limited company. Reason
Yeah.
being more capital was needed.
Yes.
So they decided
Okay.
they will issue 30 crore new shares.
Okay.
They decided that it will be issued at 25 rupees. This
Yeah.
25 rupees was decided based on the survey, market demand, everything. They
Yeah.
realized that at 25, definitely they will be able to sell 30 crore shares. Okay, par value is constant at 10 rupees. So the
Yeah.
difference between 25 and 10 is 15, which is the premium.
Right.
Okay. So after doing all this, they come out with this offer. They hire some banker or whatever. They are called a lead running book manager and all. So what I will strongly suggest is go ahead and download the DRHP for Rosari Biotech. Okay. Just Google it. Ashar, can you do it? Just Google it. DRHP, Draft Red Herring Prospectus for Rosari Biotech. The IPO happened 1 month back. Download it and put it here. It will be some 800 pages. Sit and read that. Okay, everything will become clear in that. Okay. So either Rosari Biotech or you can do for SBI cards also. It went in IPO in March. So just do SBI credit card IPO. SBI cards, SBI credit card IPO, DRHP. Okay. So there you will have all the details.
Okay.
But basically, after doing all this, they will hire a banker who will sell the shares on their behalf. So as I said, this is a high level. I will go into detail. What is the role of the banker, who's a book manager, all that, what they do and all that. I will go through one DRHP fully. Okay, not fully, that will take 6 months, but yeah, at least 10%. So now, once they decide all this, they come out with this IPO and they give people 5 days to buy the shares, or 3 days mostly, whatever. So in that time period, they will sell these 30 crore shares. And why it is known as primary market is because these 30 crore are new shares which are created. Okay.
Okay. So still, this is still primary market only.
Correct. So this 30 crore new shares were created and they are being sold at a fixed price of 25. Now say the demand is for 60 crores or 100 crores, more than the number of share issued. So then you will get issued in terms of a lottery.
Issued in terms of a lottery.
Okay. So let's not get into the issue and all. So 30 crore shares were sold at 25 rupees. Then there will be a day decided when these shares are listed on the secondary exchange. And which exchange they will be listed on. Say they decided to list it on NSE, which is the National Stock Exchange of India. And the listing date is today. Now today is a Saturday, so say Monday, 3rd of August. On that day, what you were saying is possible. So on that day, the share price can be 27, 29, 30, 31, 22, whatever. And from that day onwards, every minute that share price will fluctuate based on demand and supply.
Okay. So whatever the pre-listing or the IPO is still the kind of a primary market, and it is only for certain number of days. And but after IPO, can the company can still decide that it doesn't want to list, or it has to get listed?
No. After the IPO, they cannot decide. Why would a company do that? They have done so much work to go for an IPO, right? Why will they decide not to list? The only reason a company can cancel an IPO is if they try to sell 30 crore shares and only they are able to sell 1 crore, which means demand is way less than supply. But that no company will do, because in the last 10 years plus, I know only one case where it happened. Because no company will want to go for an IPO and then cancel it. That will get it very bad press. So they will do a lot of checks, knowing very well that at what price they can sell the shares and how many shares they can sell. And only then they decide the number of shares and share price for the IPO. It is not a very simple process. Because
so we can assume that when the company is going for IPO, it means that they are almost want to get listed in some of the index.
Not almost. They definitely want to get listed.
Okay.
The only thing that is to be decided is how many shares and what kind of shares. So in this example, I took only new shares. It can also be that they can give an exit to current investors. So that is known as OFS, offer for sale. But that is to be discussed next week or after that.
Can you please repeat that term? OFS,
Offer for sale. Offer for sale. I will type it.
Next week.
The document requested, Nishant. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying that next week, Nishant, are you going to continue with the IPO then?
No. So we'll do this HCL on Saturday, and then IPO we will do it on Sunday. Depends on time here.
Yeah,
Need to make it more interesting. Today was too boring going through that authorized.
Tomorrow we do that HCL TCS, and next week we'll continue with this only, no? Like the follow up of this.
Ha, acha, okay. Ha, tomorrow is that, na? Ha. Correct. So next week we will see. Yeah.
Okay.
And you were telling how many shares should be listed. What you want to highlight something significant over there?
No. So that's what I said, right? So based on demand and all, they will understand that okay, only this many number of shares should be issued, so on and so forth. Guess on in the example we discussed, say 30 crore were already issued to existing investor, and 30 crore new share were issued during the IPO. So total becomes 60 crores. And say after the IPO, day one, the price is 30 rupees. So 60 crore into 30, 1800 crores is the market capitalization of the company, which is nothing but total number of shares outstanding into the current market price. And once in the secondary market, that share price will change on a daily basis or hourly basis or every minute actually. Because now people are buying and selling from each other. Now the company is not involved.
Nishant, here, so when you told that those are the number of outstanding shares, that means that the number of shares that the promoters held plus the number of shares that are issued in as the IPO, so they are in the secondary market now. So the combined shares that are that I spoke about are outstanding shares, and the ones that the company still holds but has not issued will not be outstanding. So I don't know what is it called. Is it?
Company holds what shares? Company has issued 60 crore shares, na?
Yeah. So for example, assuming that out of 80, so they have 100 crores and they have issued till now 60 crores, including the ones that the promoters initially held plus the ones that they have already issued. So 60 crore in total is issued now. So that is the outstanding shares, and the remaining 40 crores, what are those called?
Unissued, right? We just discussed it.
Okay. So outstanding
authorized, the company was authorized to issue 100 crore shares. They have issued 60 crores. The rest 40 crores is unissued.
Okay, and once a chunk of those unissued shares are also issued, so they fall under the outstanding shares then.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So outstanding is nothing but issued. Yeah. Confused mat ho jao. So what I'm saying is outstanding is the issued. So the number of issued shares is 60 crores. Unissued is 40 crore. Keep it simple, na?
Okay.
And then company can keep issuing based on need, how much money it needs every year, 5 crores. But that doesn't happen because in an IPO the company will connect enough and more money. And once an IPO is done, then they will have other sources also. They can also collect debt and all rather than going for equity every time.
Yeah.
Or they can go for convertible bonds and all that. So a lot of other options are there.
Okay. And one more thing, Nishant, out of context, but I was wondering that can we do one session on PPFs and ETFs as well, like provident funds? I was discussing with my father. He told me that it's like those kind of investments are also very lucrative.
What PPO,
Like
pre-placement offer?
No. Just out of context, I was wondering that can we do a session one time on the on provident funds as well?
Provident fund. Ha, theek hai. We'll do that. Put that in the agenda. Put everything in the agenda. That's all. Yeah, and that is why I asked, right? Few questions were asked on WhatsApp, but nobody asked those now. So somebody was asking me, answer this, answer that.
Coming back to that thing, so once it listed, so I still want to hold a kind of a major stake in the shares. So it means like, for example, as a promoter, if I want to hold 60%, so if there are 100 crores, then I should be holding 60% of the shares, and remaining 40% I can leave it to the market, right?
Sorry?
Okay. Once it is listed in the share market, so I mean, so once we went with the IPO, so in the IPO, we gave 30 crore shares. So now the overall shares is 60 crores. Okay.
Correct, yes.
So for the 10%, I mean, then it's only 5%. 5%, the overall share will be 5%. I mean, their share of the entire value of the share capital for this company. Okay. So if I still want to hold the kind of a major stake in this, so I have to have more than 50%. So I can still go ahead and purchase the remaining shares in that, as in even as a promoter, right?
Yes, of course. So say out of the initial 10, one guy holds 3 crore shares, right? Now
Okay.
he wants to hold more than 50%. So he can buy the rest 28 crore shares or 27 crore point something shares from the market at the current price of 30 rupees or whatever is the price. He can always do that, but he should have that much money to buy.
Okay. I mean, I just want now, and I'll split this question now. See, for example, there are 100 crore shares overall, and I'm holding 60% shares and 60%. So I'm holding 60 crore shares. Okay, remaining 40 crores are in the market. So they are only doing kind of buying and selling among themselves. So how is the price will fluctuate here?
No. Why did you change the example? Stick to the same example, na? So 60 crore shares have been issued. I hold
Okay.
3 crore shares.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do you want to do now?
Okay, I'm holding 3 crore shares. So once now I still want to go ahead and purchase the remaining 20 crore shares because I want to hold the major.
Okay, so you want to hold 31 crore shares. So out of 60
Yeah,
crore shares, you want to hold 31 crores, which will be more than
yes,
50%. So you
yes.
go
Okay,
ahead
so
and buy
I'm
28 crore shares, you go ahead and buy from the market at market price, say 30 rupees. So you spend
yeah.
840 crore shares, buy those 28 crore shares. So now you have 31 crore shares. So now you are the majority owner.
So now, how will the price will get fluctuated for the in the market once I get listed? So there will be additional shares. Okay, yeah. Here the number of shares will come. Yeah, issue like here it's called a lottery. You mean it will be issued in the terms of lottery, and a lot of people will come and purchase those.
No, I'm not able to understand where you are getting confused. But yeah, so now it is freely traded in the market, right? So I have bought it from the
Yes.
market. Now the remaining 29 crore shares are there. Now,
Yeah.
based on the company's performance and a variety of factors which we have discussed earlier, the
Uh-huh.
current share price will keep fluctuating. And also the 31 crore shares that I hold are need not be locked in. So there is a concept of locked in, not locked in. So it doesn't mean that as a promoter I cannot sell my shares. There are some rules and restrictions on me, but it is not that I can never sell. So generally there might be rule like, okay, after the IPO for 2 years I cannot sell, or something like that, whatever. And every quarter, once the results are published, before the results are published, 15 days is known as a silent period. So in that 15 days I cannot sell, but after the results are published I can always sell. So there are many such rules. So it is not that the promoter's share is never sold. It is just that if you want to keep the control, you will not sell. Like for example, Infosys, who's the promoter? The promoter are usually the people who started the company. But in Infosys, the promoters only hold 3-4% each. So today, Narayan Murthy and his family, which means he, his wife, and 2 kids, together they hold less than 4 or 5% of Infi. You can Google it, and they are free to sell. There is no restriction on them, except during that 15-day silent period or whatever. So Infosys published the result few days back. Now they can sell freely. If today Mr. Narayan Murthy decided he want to sell all the 4%, he can sell it. That will make sense actually, right? Because why he invest all his money in one company? Now he is not running the company.
No, no, I understand this terms. So now overall shares are 60 crores. I listed in, there is a background noise. I listed now my company is listed. So for example, once it is listed, the price is fluctuating from 25, 26 rupees, 27 rupees, or whatever it is. So overall, the price. But here, what is the maximum number of shares? How the fluctuations will on what things? Yes, demand and supply and the reputation that is always there. How the fluctuation? What are the things which will cause for the fluctuation? And how this will have impact on the overall issued shares. I think this is on the overall issued share, right?
Okay, I don't know. So you were asking more about how the share price fluctuate. That is a whole different ball game altogether, right? So
Okay.
that has a multitude of factors. Profit of the
I
company,
think
price to earning multiple, price to book value, hundreds of factors are there. Market share, share of wallet, all of that. So that is to be discussed in multiple sessions. So we did quite a few sessions on it. You should definitely go through the recorded ones. So that will give you some perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I take this one, Nishant? So I just wanted to let you know that just to go back to the initial stage when the IPO it happens. So at that point of time, there's a fixed rate, right? Like the company decides that okay, this is the price that they want to quote for the initial public offering, and then everyone buys. Whoever wants to buy the shares, they buy the shares at that price, and then the IPO is done, right? So at that point of time, the market value of that point of those shares is fixed. But once they are issued and once everything is done, the IPO is over, then it depends, right? Then the new investors who think that okay, so this company is going to be lucrative in the future, I should buy from someone because at this point of time it is still relatively low priced. So anyone can buy, but the number of shares those are issued will anyway remain the same. So it doesn't matter, right? I mean, once the IPO is done, the total number of shares that are issued is done. That's it. Now, how the price fluctuates is it depends upon the sentiment of the other investors. That do they think that it is valuable? Do they think that the company, and also upon the dividends and over like how the company will perform in the future. So it is not related to what was done previously. Everything is now in the future. I don't know if I answered your question, but
Yeah, actually, I got it. It's more what you're telling. It's more sentiment. People opinion matters over here,
yeah,
and
once
mhm. Yeah, please.
yeah, once it is issued, once everyone has already bought, for example, 30 crore here, right? So 30 was already done. Now the remaining 30 public, they bought it. Now, once everything is done, after that, whoever holds the share, they will either get dividend after 1 year, or they will wait for someone else to buy from them. So someone else thinks that okay, this is more interesting because yeah, this whole industry or this company is doing well, I should buy it. And then I'm sure that after 6 months, someone else would quote more price from me. So then it depends. Then it's all about the market and how people think.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what Nishant was also telling. A lot of factors will be there, and there were initially some sessions were done, and it's in the YouTube. I will go through them.
Fine. So we will close the session, but Som is here. Som has posted some interesting things. What are these absurd rules? These are not at all absurd. So we'll have to talk about one by one. So first one he's talking is people have to deposit margin before making transaction. How is this absurd? It's good, na? How can you trade without paying money? The current rule is absurd, not the future one. So anyways, go through it. So that is why I said in WhatsApp there are so many discussions, but on the class everybody forgets the questions. Somebody else has asked. HDFC is overvalued. We could have discussed that. Okay, we will discuss some of this. US can't sustain economic slowdown. They will not have a slowdown. Print more always works. Yes, it always works. Okay, a lot of interesting things. SBI results. Okay, so we have so many discussions. We should talk about those things. Cool. Anyways, so we are at 5 p.m. and I'm very tired. So we will close the session today. Tomorrow, let's have some more questions, and please talk to some people you know who are not attending, because we need to start improving the participation rate. At least 25 people should be attending. Okay. Chalo, thank you guys. And tomorrow, okay. Before you go, for tomorrow, I see somebody has shared it. Okay. So I want you guys to come up with this. Okay. I'm not going to give the answers easily tomorrow. So Vaibhav has shared something. I highlighted it, but I will reiterate it. Where is that chart? So I will reiterate it. Okay. If you look at the chart, okay, can you all pull it up, or it's pulled up on my Skype screen? I don't know whether I can share this one. So if you see, the revenue growth for HCL is the highest over a 5-year period. CAGR is compounded annual growth rate. So over 5 years, HCL revenue growth is 19%. And its profit growth is 20%, which is better than revenue growth. For Infosys, revenue growth is 11% and profit growth is only 6%. And for TCS, revenue and profit growth both is 11%. But share price of HCL has gone up only 5% per year, which is much lower than profit growth. For Infosys, it has gone up by 7%, which is higher than profit growth. And for TCS, it has gone by 10%, which is lower than profit growth. Why is this? And if I look at the P ratio, HCL is 17, 19 and 23. Why? Why this differential? Okay. So look at these. Okay. And looking at these, I can make so many conclusions. Okay. So I want you guys to derive those conclusions. And Srihari, a lot of your questions will get answered here. So these are all secondary market now. So these companies have been listed for many years. Like Infosys got listed in 91 or 92. Other two I don't remember, but it's quite a number of. No, TCS was 2005. So Infosys and TCS I remember because TCS IPO had got some shares. So TCS got listed in 2005 for sure. 2005 was it? Yeah, 2005 or 6. 2005, yeah, 2005 if I remember correctly. And HCL I don't know when it got listed. So these companies have been listed for a long time. So look at these data and make some conclusions because I can make a lot of them. Okay. But the key question I have is when a company's profit is growing at 20%, why is the share price only going 5%? And the answer is in this chart only. And the first one is a typo. The stock price cannot be in crores. It is in rupees only. The rest of them are in crores. Okay. And these are all terms. So anybody who doesn't understand these terms, please study on it and come back if you still don't understand. Because everybody should understand all the terms. What is market cap, what is revenue, net profit, etc. Okay?
Yeah.
So it will be a very interesting session the more people are prepared.
Okay.
Okay. Chalo. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.